So you've got a sale around the corner and you want to maximize the revenue you generate with that sale. You see, most brands, when they have a sale, they just focus on sending that one email for that one day of the sale, right? If you really want to maximize revenue, then you need to plan everything and make sure you have a structure in planning around that specific sale to, again, make as much money as you can with that specific sale, whether it is Black Friday, Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever it is. You need to maximize and have a plan around that sale to maximize revenue. So with that being said, today I'm gonna basically explain how to promote a sale successfully and make tons of money with your DTC brand and your email sale. So with that being said, let me dive right into it. The first step to promote a sale successfully is to build an early birds list. So what is that? Essentially is when you collect emails from people who are interested in getting early access or being the first to know about the launch of the sale. And that's why it is kind of extremely important to do a teaser, let's say 2 weeks out before the actual sale. And then 1 week out, you can start basically building that early access list. So you need to have a specific landing page where you collect emails and then you build an email list of early access people, early birds essentially. So that way, when you launch a sale, you can launch the first emails of the sale with the actual launch sale and the discount code, whatever it is, to those people beforehand, right? And as well to the VIPs, but that's something I'm gonna cover later. Essentially, it could be something as simple as having your phone number, email address, and then a button, just essentially a sign-up form to build that early birds list. I cannot tell you how important this is, especially for bigger sales, like for example Black Friday. This is extremely crucial. If someone really goes out of their way to a specific landing page and give you their email and even their phone number, then I can guarantee you that person is 100% gonna buy when you actually launch the sale, okay? So really important, take care of these people. And again, I'm gonna cover how to later in this video, but I'm pretty sure you're guessing right now, like you actually send the emails beforehand. That's pretty much it, but that's actually makes a huge difference in the entire sale revenue. So that's the first step, is you need to have a early birds list of people interested in your sale, okay? Second step is essentially to make sure your deliverability is on point, because it doesn't really, again, let's say you have the perfect emails for your sale, they look great, you have a super offer, but let's say your emails actually land in spam folder, then what's the point of having a sale in the first place, right? You're wasting your time, resources, everything, because everything you send is going to land in the spam folder and you're basically spinning your wheels, right? So as I mentioned before, if your deliverability is damaged, then you're essentially just spinning your wheels. So how to identify damaged deliverability? Well, first things first, at a high level, if your campaigns, the campaigns you send have open rates below 20-25%, and they used to be like 50, 40, 60, whatever it is, then you're 100% having some issues when it comes to the deliverability, right? That's the first step. That's the first sign that you're actually having some trouble there. The second step to identify whether you have some issues when it comes to deliverability is looking at the open rates by email inbox providers. So let me show you exactly how that looks. I've covered this before, but essentially if you go to your Klaviyo, you go to analytics dashboards, here you go to overview dashboard, and then you need to add this card right here. So you need to click here, add card, and then you'll find this one. I already added it, which is email deliverability by domain. And here you'll see all the different inbox providers. So the main ones, of course, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, iCloud, etc. Let's say sometimes what happens is that you might be seeing like, okay, open rates across the board on your campaigns, and then you just go and then check these out, and then you see like, for example, Hotmail looks really good, iCloud, etc. But Gmail, even though it's not terrible, it's still 41%, which is optimal, is not as good as the other ones, right? Or let's say sometimes it is like 20-30% and the other ones are fine, and this can happen, and this actually happens very often, especially Gmail, which is the main one. You might see again great open rates with other inbox providers. So if I go here, the AOL, Outlook, whatever, They look really good. But with Gmail, like 20-30%, right? So Gmail being the main one, I mean the main inbox provider used pretty much in the entire world, then of course it makes sense to make sure this is optimized as well. So let's say in this case it is 30% or 20%. Then what you need to do is essentially like start sending campaigns to Gmail users only, but to very tight segments of that specific inbox provider. So Gmail in the last 15 days, engage 15 days, and then you do that for like 4 campaigns. If the metrics improve, you do like 30, and then 60, and so on and so forth until you get to like 180 days, or engage 180 days, or whatever it is that you use typically. I've already created a video on how to essentially fix this and how to follow that process, so feel free to check that out. But that's essentially how you identify damage deliverability. And of course, you've got like Google Postmaster, where you see all the details, spam rate, how healthy your domain is. So make sure you check that out too. Okay, so the second step to make sure your deliverability is on point is to segment properly, right? Sending to engage and relevant segments instead of blasting your entire email audience with generic messaging is the key to good deliverability, essentially, okay? Of course, list cleaning, and again, making sure everything is already good. It is, of course, extremely important. But to avoid having damaged deliverability as much as you can, you need to segment properly. And that's one of the most important things, right? And this is, of course, pre-sale. These might not have a direct correlation with the sale itself, but it is extremely important to make sure these things right here, this is already on point before the sale, to make sure that, again, you maximize your revenue you actually generate with that specific sale, okay? I've already created a video on the 5 must-have Klaviyo segments that you need to have, and then you need to utilize on your Klaviyo account. So feel free to check this one out as well. Then something that actually ties back to deliverability is making sure you clean your email list regularly. So what does that mean? Well, getting rid of unengaged people from your email list in a sense. And I already created a video about this in the channel, so feel free to check that out. Now, the next step, so we've already covered the fact that you first need to build an early birds list before the actual sale, some weeks out before the sale. Second thing you need to make sure of is that your domain health is on point, right? As I mentioned before. And then next, we've got building your sale content strategy. As I mentioned before, it's not just about having one email going out the day of the sale and just announcing it. It's about having an entire structure and planning around that. So the first, and we've got like 3 rules when it comes to building your content strategy around the sale. First one is you need to have at least one teaser. Second thing is you need to send a campaign to people who opted in to the early birds list, right? Early access list, as I mentioned before. And then finally, you need to have multiple follow-ups. And of course, like this goes without saying, but you need to send an email the day of the sale announcing the sale, of course, right? So this is just a planned example here. So 1 to 2 days before the sale, you want to send the sale to the people actually opted in for early access. And then again, like giving those people early access to the sale itself, right? And just telling them that because they opted in, this is why they're getting this, okay? And then you can also do it with VIPs. So like people who have purchased multiple times for you, who have a very high LTV, etc. You can also send them early access to the sale itself, okay? Really important, you do that like 1 to 2 days before the actual sale. On the day of the sale, so the launch day, you can send before to VIP. So let's say you're sending to the engaged list in, I don't know, at 11 a.m. You can send to VIPs 8 a.m. Or you can send that, as I mentioned before, 1 to 2 days before, okay? Now, it is, especially depends on the sale, the type of the sale. If it is a great offer that you typically don't do often, then it might be worth it sending AM and PM emails. So in the morning and then another email in the evening, right? If again the sale is great, that's a great option. If you really want to maximize your revenue generated. And then 1 to 3 days post launch, you can have urgency, just basically reminders of the sale. and then focus on those reminders. You can have urgency, or you can also have scarcity as well if, of course, the stock is limited. But again, really important to follow these 3 rules here. First one, again, having at least one teaser. So, and this ties back to my previous point that we covered already. So 1 to 2 weeks out, you want to have a teaser, just teasing the sale. Okay? And then send a campaign, just essentially communicate with people who opted in to early birds access. Send them the sell first to them because they opted in. So you have to follow what you promise. And also, again, you can also do this for VIPs, just essentially taking care of them and just acknowledge the fact that they are a VIP customer, so they understand they're getting this sale beforehand because they're a VIP customer. And then finally, third rule that you need to follow is having multiple follow-ups. So follow-ups is where the money is made, as they say, right? So extremely important to have these follow-ups in place. So that's kind of a planning example they can definitely follow. Again, make sure this is dialed in, as well as the deliverability as well. So those emails land in the inbox folder and not the spam folder. Okay? Now, when it comes to the email structure to follow for maximum revenue, so we've talked about the strategy, we've talked about the deliverability. So we've talked about the strategy, we've talked about the deliverability. Now let's talk about email design, email structure to make sure you maximize revenue there. So the best structure for a sale campaign, for sale campaigns, is a banner plus a CTA, and that's pretty much it. The banner needs to convey the offer ASAP in a clear manner, right? So make sure the main offer plus the CTA are above default. So again, what is above default? Above default is everything that comes before the first scroll on your mobile. So essentially what people see at first. And if they close the email, then at least they saw the offer and everything. That's most important, right? So here I've got some examples with the offer just above default, just right off the bat on the top section of the email. Last chance, 65% off. Use code SUMMER65. Again, everything is here on top. Early access, well, this is a early access kind of email. Same thing, very clear and straightforward, extremely clear and straightforward. Same thing here. The less copy, the better. We just want to have the offer plus a CTA and the discount code. That's pretty much it. Early bird, Black Friday sale, 25% off. Code Friday, and that's it, man. That's pretty much the email. I mean, the simpler, the better when it comes to these sale emails. Again, people don't care about anything else. People don't care about anything else other than the actual sale and offer and discount code, and that's pretty much it. So again, banner plus CTA, that's it. That's the main thing. And then below it, you could have you can, highlight the product benefits, or you can highlight the best sellers, whatever it is. Now, another very important thing is that this is not the time to test variables. For these emails, you need to use the best variables you've identified so far in your account. So for example, best sending times. If you don't want to do a graphic base because you've identified that text-based emails work really well, you could, instead of doing graphic based, essentially use only text-based for most of the emails, which is completely fine as well. Actually, for some of our clients, the launches, the follow-ups, or the sales of the sale emails are pretty much text-based, and they just crush it. Also, if you've identified that longer emails tend to work better than shorter emails, then just do that, right? Every brand is different. Of course, we've got some frameworks, we've got some general guidelines, but again, every brand, every industry is different. So just do what works for you. Again, it's not the right time to start testing things. Just focus on revenue. That's pretty much it. Again, hopefully you don't do sales all the time. So that's why you want to, again, squeeze as much as you can from this specific sale, whatever sale you're actually launching, okay? So next step is essentially print money with this strategy. Again, I've seen many brands essentially they just send an email the day of the sale, and they announce the sale on social media, and that's pretty much it. Even though they have a great offer, that's pretty much all they do. So of course, if you're doing this right now, I can guarantee you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table by not having the right structure around that. And again, you don't need a lot of resources to create those emails. You can again utilize, for example, text-based emails. If they work really well for you, you can definitely use that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Hopefully this adds value to your email arsenal. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you're running an e-commerce brand doing over 800K per month right now, and you want someone, a team of email experts to handle your emails, so everything from automations, campaign ideation, deliverability, everything, then feel free to reach out to me. A link to my scheduler is in the description box below, so feel free to book a time that works for you. We can put together a specific plan of attack and see if we can work together. If we can, then I'll make you an offer. And then if it makes financial sense for you, then we'll be more than happy to bring you on board as a client. So with that being said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.